Welcome to Dnyanadeep Simplified series. Today, in daily answer writing program, we are going to discuss two questions on economic development. Economic development is a part of GS paper 3. Okay, we'll start the question. First question is inclusive growth possible under market economy? Right? First, we have to decode that question. Okay, first we will read the question. Is inclusive growth possible under market economy? Here, inclusive growth, market economy. State the significance of financial inclusion in achieving economic growth in India. Okay, this economic growth is being inclusive growth as well, right? So there are three major keywords. First one is inclusive growth. What is inclusive growth, right? Second keyword is market economy. So we have to write something about market economy, or at least mention that word in our answer. And third most important point that will form the body of our question is how we will ensure this economic growth, right? So for decoding the question, we have to first understand concept of market economy, right? And inclusive growth. Generally, the growth that will cover all aspects of our society, all aspects of our economy is termed as inclusive growth. While when we say market economy has specific features. First one being competition, right? Market economy thrives on this competition. Second one is whoever contribute in that market economy will get the benefits or will get the money. Okay, so when we look at these two terms, there is one difference, there is one contradiction. Wherever we talk about inclusive growth, market economy will not exist there, right? Inclusive growth is an extension of socialistic economy, right? When growth is spread to all the economy, when the growth is spread to all the population, is termed as inclusive growth, and it is a specific feature of socialistic economy, not the market economy. Market economy thrives on demand and supply. Market economy thrives on competition, right? Now, why UPSC asked this question? We have to consider this fact. Why UPSC asked this question? Let's say after 1991. Here 1991 year is more important. Okay, this question is designed around this part. Before 1991, nature of Indian economy was socialistic in pattern, right? Indian economy was a socialistic economy. After 1991, we are shifting towards market economy, right? When we are shifting towards market economy, obvious is that inclusion part, specifically inclusion part, will get a distraction or will get diverted from mainstream. But when we see from present context, government is focusing specifically on this topic, inclusive growth. So this contradiction exists in Indian economy. And because of this contradiction, UPSC simply asked this question, why and how these two factors will come together, right? This is the present context of our question. And this present context should come in introduction of our question. When we say this, there exists this type of contradiction, we are accepting the fact that we know the answer and we are trying to give the signal to that paper checker that I know the question, why you are asking this question, right? So start your answer from elaborating this contradiction. Market economy, inclusive growth will not be complement each other in other economies, but in India we are trying to do that, right? And we are successful in doing that. For example, you can give a report. Okay, when we come to our answer part, we can give an example here. Record 13.5 crore Indians escape poverty between 2025 to 2029 as per Niti Aayog report. Right? Even though there exists a basic contradiction between these 2 points, we are able to achieve inclusive growth. We are able to achieve poverty reduction, right? So this contradiction, even though exists in other countries, we are working on that solutions. We are working on that contradictions, and we are getting the results. And this is the result, right? So in introduction, try to write about this contradiction. Plus, we are working on that because Niti Aayog report says this much amount of 13.5 crores of Indian are getting out of poverty, right? This will be the introduction of question. Second thing, market economy also generates wealth, and this generated wealth is available for inclusion initiatives, right? For inclusion, we need money, and this money will be generated only in market economy. Understood, right? So this will be our introduction part. Before that, we should also focus on locus and focus of the question. Here, locus of the question is inclusive growth as well as market economy. Plus, when you go toward focus, financial inclusion and economic growth or development. This is focus of our question. So, this will form body of our answer, right? When we move towards body, first thing, access to financial services, right? Inclusive growth will bring access to financial services. This action will ensure formal financial services, enabling participation in the economy, risk management, seizing economic opportunities. This inclusive growth will sustain overall growth trajectory of the economy. Why? Because it will ensure the participation, right? And this participation from each one of the individual will ultimately grow our economy, right? Market economy works on competition. Market economy works on demand and supply. Market economy works on capital, right? Market economy works on participation, and this financial inclusion will ensure this participation. And because of this participation, our investment will grow on increasing. Due to increased investment, there will be increased returns, and due to increased returns, our economy will grow, right? So first point will be access to financial services. Second point, income and asset building. It will promote, inclusive growth will promote savings, investment, asset accumulation, leading to income generation and poverty reduction, right? People will get more money. Simple fact, people will get more money. So they will increase their saving rate. Due to increased saving rate, there will be more money available with the banks. So bank can lend more. Bank will create more assets, and this will overall increase our economic size, right? Then third point, boosting consumption and demand enables better financial management, higher propensity to consume, stimulating economic growth. If someone is getting more money, let's say I am earning 100 rupees per day today, and tomorrow I will earn 1000 rupees. What will happen? Right? Because of this economic growth, my income will grow on increasing. Na? If my income is increasing, I will demand more services from the economy. My demands will create more supply chains, and more demand, more supply chains means overall increasing the size of economy here, right? So it will boost the consumption and demand. Next point is facilitating investment and capital formation. Mobilizes savings into productive investment, funding infrastructure development and industrial expansion. Okay, we have discussed this point earlier. After that, enhanced productivity and efficiency. Financial inclusion will provide financial tools to marginal groups, enhancing their productivity and efficiency. Next point is reducing income inequality, bridges the wealth gap and empowers marginal communities to participate in economic activities, right? There will be the bridging of this gap. Okay. Next point is strengthening the formal economy. Formal economy is most important aspect from economic point of view. If we have informal economy, in that government will not be able to collect more taxes, right? Government will not be able to hold that economy in particular place. Because of formalization, the revenue sources of the government will go on increasing. For example, we can say due to GST, goods and services tax, there is a forced formalization of the economy, right? Because of this GST, forced formalization of economy is going to take place, is taking place, and due to that, government revenues are, right, go on increasing. For example, GST roughly earns around 1 lakh crore per month. In previous tax regime, these figures are not achievable. But under GST, we are able to achieve 1 lakh crores per month, right? So formalization will ultimately impact our economic development. So in conclusion, in summary, financial inclusion plays a crucial role in achieving economic growth in India by ensuring that all segments of society can participate in the formal economy. Financial inclusion contributes to a more inclusive, sustainable, and economic growth trajectory. So whatever we discussed, we just summarize that all points in our summary. Okay. In this way, you can answer here. First thing is introduction. Okay. Introduction will focus on highlighting the contradiction between market economy and financial inclusion. Second thing, when we come to body of the question, body will focus on financial inclusion will lead to financial growth or economic growth. We have to address how. Okay, we have addressed that in various points, and in conclusion, we can summarize all these points. Okay, in this way, you can write the answer in your final exam. Moving to next question. Next question is quite interesting. Second question, why public-private partnership required in infrastructure projects? Examine the role of PPP model in redevelopment of railway stations in India. Here the question comes from infrastructure topic, right? If you analyzed previous questions, you may notice here that most questions in UPSC, most questions came from this infrastructure topic. Here, in this particular portion, they are discussing about the PPP model of infrastructure financing, right? Infrastructure financing has major issues. First thing, what are the issues? First thing, infrastructure development will require a sufficient chunk of money. It will be very large, in lakh crores, right? Government will not be able to finance all that with their own resources. That's why we are going through this PPP route, right? So, first issue is amount of money that required for that infrastructure project. Second issue is gestation period of that infrastructure project. Third thing, economic utility of that infrastructure project. After completing, generally these infrastructure projects required a lot of time, let's say 10 years, 15 years. And after 15 years, it will not be earning as much as money we are investing in that infrastructure project, right? After 15 years, let's say the project is completed after 15 years, right? There has to be some time gap to earn that much amount of money, let's say 10 to 15 years more. So totally, when we are investing that much amount of money, let's say 1 lakh crore, we are looking at a time frame of around 30 years. So around 30 years of gestation period. It is not possible to invest that much amount of money in any infrastructure project, and because of that, we are relying on this PPP model. So PPP model is not necessary for financing the infrastructure. Here in this particular question, our locus should be PPP, but focus is present context, right? Focus is of present context, redevelopment of railway stations in India. Redevelopment of railway stations in India is the focus of our question. Okay, we'll go towards the question then. Here, introduction. We'll have to write the present context to sustain the speed of spending in background of economic slowdown in India. Okay, this statement I picked from our economic survey. Economic survey has discussed in detail about the slowdown, overall slowdown in world and India, right? But India is able to overcome that economic slowdown. India is ahead of all other countries because even though there is a slowdown in the market, we are spending more money on infrastructure projects. So spending cycle is sustaining in Indian economy. And because of this spending cycle, there is a sufficient amount of money available in the economy. And because of that, there is a sustained growth, sustained demand in that economy. And because of sustained demand, there is a supply. So we are ahead of this slowdown right now, right? So present context should address, or at least present context should mention this line from economic survey. Okay. Recently announced, in background of economic slowdown in India, recently announced national infrastructure pipeline with aim of achieving $5 trillion status of an economy. Okay. This is our present target, right? Government's target for Indian economy. We are trying to achieve the $5 trillion status of an economy. And to achieve that, we are spending through national infrastructure pipeline. And in that national infrastructure pipeline, we are spending a big chunk on redevelopment of railway stations. So this is a proper context of question. And because of this, they are asking this same question, right? When we go towards body of our question, we have to focus on public-private partnership in infrastructure projects. Why PPP is needed in infrastructure projects? First thing, financial resources. Government will not have this much amount of financial resources. We have to divert that. We have to attract that from private players, right? And PPP is the best way to attract that investment. Second thing, risk sharing. Because investment is shared between government and private, so whatever the associated risk of that project will be also shared with both the parties, right? Burden on the government will get reduced. Burden on the private parties also get reduced because government is our partner, right? Third thing, this PPP will benefit in efficiencies and innovations. Private partners will bring these innovations, right? How government works? If we have to discuss about government's strategies to develop any project or government spending, we know government is not able to maintain these efficiencies and they are very slow in innovation factor. Private player will bring that efficiencies because private player will focus on profit while government focuses on development. But on the point of infrastructure development, we need these efficiencies and innovations. Private sector involvement brings efficiency, innovations to infrastructure development, optimizing project delivery and project quality, right? Next point is expertise and experiences. Private player also bring this expertise. Okay. Role of PPP in redevelopment of railway stations. This is second part of our body. What role will this PPP will play in the railway station development? Investment and financing. They will bring investment and financing. They will bring design expertise as well as construction innovations. Okay. Next thing, they will bring operation and maintenances. Private partners take responsibility for operation and maintenance of developed stations, ensuring efficient management and high service standards. We are aiming for these high service standards. And because of these high service standards, there will be increased footfall. There will be increased footfall towards this created facility, and that will generate more revenue, right? Commercialization and revenue generation. Okay, next point is commercialization and revenue generation. PPP allows for commercialization of station spaces, creating additional revenue streams through retail, food courts, multiplexes and hotels, right? A type of corporatization, we can say this, right? A type of corporatization is going to take place, and that will ultimately benefit the passengers, right? Because they are getting so much services in same amount of money. That will ultimately benefit railways because they are getting increased revenue streams. This will also benefit private players because they are getting the business, overall business they are getting, right? So it will be a win-win situation for all three parties concerned. Last point, what PPP will bring? Technology and innovations. Private player introduce technological advancement, innovative solution, enhancing passenger experiences and their sustainability in that services, right? When we move towards conclusion, here, Indian Railway function as arteries of transportation in India. Its development will sustain and improve overall contribution of Indian Railways in the economy. You are focusing on the future part, you are focusing on the future aspect of overall this scenario, particular scenario. So mention that in the answer, right? In this way, we discussed two questions, right? In next lecture, we are going to do same thing. Till then, thank you so much.